If you don't know about the Red River Campaign in the American Civil War and how it resulted in a Union loss against Texas Confederate soldiers, and you're about to learn about it right now, I don't feel bad about not knowing it before because we have a low-quality education system in America. And so we're having to fill in the gap by utilizing YouTube to educate the masses without new taxes. Voices from the Red River Campaign, March-May 1864, Louisiana and East Texas. The Red River Campaign, a failed Union attempt to seize Shreveport and cut off Confederate access to Texas, lives on not in its strategy, but in the raw human accounts recorded by soldiers, sailors, and civilians. March begins into the wilderness. George Goodwin, a Union cavalryman, recorded the harsh march in his diary. Suffering from a terrible headache, the sun was brutal and my horse unruly. I fell behind, miserable but pushing on. April 8-9, Mansfield and Pleasant Hill. The campaign's key battles came in early April. At Mansfield, Confederate forces routed Banks's army. The next day at Pleasant Hill, Union troops regrouped. Captain Charles Abbott of the 47th Pennsylvania wrote home, "We had barely returned to camp when we were ordered back toward the enemy. The firing was constant, the cries of the wounded louder still. Rosetta Wakeman, proud. Lyons Wakeman, disguised as a man." Wakeman wrote home from Pleasant Hill, "I was under fire 4 hours and laid on the field all night, bullets like bees." She died weeks later from dysentery, her identity only discovered posthumously. Bailey's Dam and the Navy's escape. As water levels dropped, Union gunboats risked being trapped. Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Bailey, a former lumberman, led the construction of a makeshift dam. Captain Henry Wharton recalled, "Logs, brush, stone, anything we could use. We built it in days, by God it worked. The fleet was saved." One camp life and disease. Robert Tyson's diary describes days at Morganza Bend. "We guard contrabands, dig trenches, eat thin soup, and lose more men to disease than bullets." The phrase "little to eat and thin mud to drink" captured the campaign's daily misery. How the retreat at Yellow Bayou, Union and Confederate forces clashed again. Goodwin wrote, "We were outnumbered, but we held. Dust, heat, blood. I'll not forget that day." The Confederate Memories, Colonel G.W. Baylor. Confederate officer George Baylor later recalled, "They ran hard after Mansfield, but they burned and fought still,